for more. Armin Georgian, our international affairs editor, is here to talk about the situation. Armin, representatives of the EU, France, Ghana, and Senegal will be speaking at 9 a.m. Why these four countries in particular?
Well, because there's a southern pivot. France is, in a sense, moving away from countries that it has very bad political relations with, that's to say Mali and Burkina Faso, and trying to leverage its good relations with, for example, Senegal. We'll hear from the president of Senegal, Macky Sall, shortly as one of these four participants. And I think there's a realization that increasingly this problem of instability in the Sahel is spilling over into those coastal West African states, Togo, Ivory Coast, and so forth, and that there's a real need to tackle that spill over the terrorist attacks that are happening in those northern areas of Benin, for example. Just a few days ago, there was another such attack. So essentially, this is what the French and the EU leaders will have been discussing with their African partners, is how to help those countries just below the kind of hotspot, if you will, of Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, that three frontier zone, and to see how they can change the nature of this mission. But I think they do want to stress that this is a multilateral effort. This is not simply a French initiative. We're getting some news now filtering through, Erin, of the joint communique, which stresses that this is a coordinated initiative with France, the EU, and these African partners. Will have to see exactly what else this communique says. This is just the very first elements of it that are filtering through now. Okay, Armin, for now, I think we'll cross to our correspondent standing by in Brussels, as we are also awaiting the start of EU and Africa leaders, which will begin a summit in the Belgian capital on Monday. Dave, as we're waiting for the press conference, Dave Keating, what are the implications for Europe? Macron, of course, will likely be speaking alongside European partners as well as African partners. So what might that mean for Europe?
Well, this decision has huge implications for Europe, and that's why European Council President Charles Michel is there in Paris this morning before coming back here to Brussels for this EU-Africa summit that's been years in the making and is starting in just a couple hours. The reason it has such European resonance is because of the Takuba mission. I mean, President Macron has been trying to Europeanize this mission for several years, and in 2020, he was successful in convincing other EU countries to join in this effort, which had been started by his predecessor, French President François Hollande. So the French decision to pull out of Mali leaves now the big obvious question: are the EU partners also going to pull out? Is the Takuba mission ending? That's what we're waiting to get confirmation on this morning. We've heard a lot from EU officials, like High Representative for Foreign Affairs Josep Borrell, saying that the EU's commitment to Mali will remain after whatever decision is taken today. What exactly does that mean? Does it remain militarily? Are they going to find some other way to fight these terrorist groups in Mali? That's what we don't know. But for sure, we know that in any way you slice it, any way that the presidents decide to portray this today, this is quite a defeat for Macron's vision of EU defense. These Sahel missions have been held out as an example of what can be accomplished when European countries cooperate militarily outside the framework of NATO without American assistance. This is quite an ignominious end for that. And the question is today what kind of spin they can put on this, what kind of future help they can give to the region. And even if they say, okay, that the military mission can't continue, but we're still going to remain engaged, the impression among some, however, will still be that this is Europe kind of abandoning this effort that was started several years ago and abandoning one of the few efforts of European military cooperation.
And Dave, today is also the EU-Africa Summit, which of course will see some 40 African heads of state and government gather alongside their European counterparts. How might what comes out of Macron's summit with the Sahel leaders here in Paris today affect this upcoming EU-Africa meeting?
Yeah, this is extremely awkward timing, to say the least. Mali is not on the agenda, but of course, it will be discussed in the sidelines. What this summit is supposed to be all about is cooperation in the areas of innovation, health, agriculture, fighting climate change. That's really the messages they want coming out of this. But it will probably turn more into military focus on the sidelines, where they'll be talking about this decision, which has such big implications for the EU-Africa relationship. The big things they need to discuss today and tomorrow, though, are financial cooperation, so the 150 billion euros that Europe is supposed to give to Africa. They want guarantees on that in terms of transparency and in terms of governance, and also health cooperation, particularly the fight against COVID-19, how they can help the vaccination efforts in Africa. There is big pressure on the EU and European countries to release the patent rights to COVID-19 vaccinations. Europe has resisted that so far. They say it actually wouldn't help, that you actually need the expertise, not just the patents. But certainly we'll hear plenty of African leaders today, I'm sure, saying that it's time to end those patent protections for the COVID-19 vaccines.
It's quite a bit on the agenda, Dave. Well, we will keep it there for now as we await the statements from Emmanuel Macron and his partners here in Paris. Thank you very much, Dave Keating in Brussels.